Hello and welcome back. Today I'm looking at a classic album that also celebrates its 40th anniversary later this year. I'm going to be looking at 1999 by Prince and Revolution. I feel it's a great album and a classic pop album. I feel there's a ton of modern artists out there who have been inspired by Prince, as well as many other artists that were popular in the 70s and 80s. Without further ado, let's take a closer look at the album and see why I feel it's still a classic album today. This is his fifth studio album, and it was released on October 27th, 1982, which again will be celebrating 40 years in October this year. I was really wanting to do it for its 40th anniversary, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I just kind of want to do and finish all the albums I own a physical copy of, but I may touch on this album again in October. Then, this album was released just a little over a year after he released his 1981 album, Controversy, which was released on October 14th, 1981, and I'll probably be looking at that album sometime in the future. Don't know exactly when. This was the first album to include his band, The Revolution, and the album was produced by Prince, which up to this point he, produce every single album he has done, as well as, written every single track, as well as play the majority of every instrument for each track as well. You'd think there'd be 1999 somewhere in the runtime, but it comes out to about 1 hour and 11 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of his longest albums to date, if you don't include any deluxe editions that have been released over the years, including some after his death in 2016. But anyways, this album has 5 singles. They are 1999, Little Red Corvette, Delirious, Automatic, and Let's Pretend We're Married. 1999 is considered to be Prince's breakout album, with the success of songs such as 1999 and Little Red Corvette. It was his first top 10 album on the Billboard 200 and peaked at number 9. After his death in 2016, the album re-entered the Billboard 200 and peaked 2 spots higher at number 7. There's a re-release and a remaster of the album, which includes 35 previously unreleased recordings. It was released back in 2019, so going to be 3 years old. I honestly haven't listened to it yet, but I'm up for it. One day, I'll hopefully cover that deluxe edition, as well as the expanded version of Purple Rain, which I do own a copy of, and I've shown off here on the channel a couple of times. It is interesting reading how the album was created and what others have to say about it. I wish I could cover all, or a good majority of it, here in this video, but I may cover in a stream or another video, as this video is mainly about, the tracks and my thoughts on the album as a whole. Throughout the album, we get a ton of synthesizers and drum machines, which I didn't know he used in this album. I honestly loved some of the synths throughout this album. On the tracks, Let's Pretend We're Married and All the Critics Love You in New York widen his use of synths and feature the use of the Lynn LM1 drum machine. Originally, the album was released as a double LP on vinyl. The CD was relatively new at this point, with the first album on CD being Billy Joel's 52nd Street, which was released on October 1st, 1982. I believe that was originally in Japan, that release. It would only take a matter of a few years for CD sales to take off. CDs surpassed vinyl sales in 1988 and even outsold cassettes in 1989 the following year. It continued to peak until 2002. With that, I feel sales started to decline, mainly with the rise of items such as MP3 players and iPods, where you could just go on, download songs you enjoyed, and instead of waiting to purchase a physical copy, only to hear a few songs you enjoy, if there's a few songs on that album you personally enjoy. Now, without further ado, let's hop into some of the tracks here on the album. We start the album off with the title track, 1999. I loved all the members' vocals and even some of the layered vocals, like during the chorus. Just hearing all their voices together, I feel this is a great way to show off the group vocally. I love the sound instrumentally as well, with its more funk sound. I love the riff in this track, that little, I believe it was a guitar riff. I honestly didn't make it clear in my notes, but I believe it was a guitar riff. Lyrically, we're looking at the end of the world, as there were a ton of different speculations of what would happen once the year 2000 came. And again, this track was, like early 80s. Album came out in 1982. And also, we have to keep in mind that we should have fun while we still have a chance, even if this may be our last moments here. Little Red Corvette is our next track. This is one of my favorites off the album. This is the only track on the album that incorporates more of a rock sound to it, whereas the rest of the album has touches purely of like pop and funk. I feel it shows off part of Prince's range. Well, I love the synths on this track, as we start off with slow synths and gradually get a little quicker. I also love the guitar solo. Lyrically, we're looking at sex used as car references, as he got the idea from dozing off in a band member's car, which was Lisa Coleman's 1964 pink Mercury Montclair Marauder, after an all-night recording session. Honestly, I love the hidden message of the lyrics, as I didn't catch what was talking about until I got a little older. Now, some lyrics kind of like proving my point, as again, the first time I heard this track, I was, just young, didn't know what it meant until uh, I got a little older, probably within the last uh, 4 or 5 years or so. Uh, I guess I might be done because you had a pack full of horses, children, and some of them ewes, but it was Saturday night. I guess that makes it alright. And you say, what have I got to lose? Delirious is the third track here on 1999. It is the shortest track we see on the album as well, coming in at 4 minutes in length. I loved its sound overall. Lyrically, we're looking at someone they're thinking of, or maybe crazy for. I'm just gonna hop on down to Late Cab Driver. I thought it was a decent track with some of its imagery, what, they're talking about lyrically. I loved how the drums are brought out more on this track and kind of revolves around them at times. Lyrically, I feel we're looking at a guy who wants to try to escape reality for a little bit. They have nowhere to go, nowhere important to be, that sort of thing. Now, the last track I have chosen is International Lover, as I see my album reviews within the past month have been kind of lengthy, so I'm kind of want to hit on, few tracks, try and make them short and sweet. But anyways, International Lover, I feel this was a decent track to close with. I loved his range on here as he goes up to his falsetto. I think I may have pronounced that wrong, but please correct me as, I do mess up some of these terms. Lyrically, we're getting more sexual content. Again, I feel it's done well. Wait, I'll quickly hit on DMSR and Almanac as I want to try and cut down my runtime as I, just previously said. I love the lyrics on DMSR. I love how it sounded kind of groovy. It just makes me want to dance around for a little bit as well. Now for Mac, it is the longest track on the album, coming in at nearly 9.5 minutes. I loved Prince's vocals here. I feel he did good for the runtime of the track. My favorite tracks on the album include 1999, Little Red Corvette, and DMSR. Today, I'll be giving the album a 5 out of 5. Honestly, I know I may not be the best album reviewer out there, but I just quickly want to say that I feel this is a great album, such a classic album as well as, tons of artists kind of looked up to Prince, with his sounds, his style, his lyrics, kind of a big inspiration in the music world. He's had so many hits as well that, people can recognize as Prince. I feel he's pretty good and has had many hits, as I just said. So, that is all I have to say right now. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Originally, I was going to review Paradise Gun by Swedish House Mafia, but with what I've been doing over the past, week or two, I honestly haven't had a chance to write anything about the album, so I'm going to be pushing that review back, as I want to try to do it for a Saturday review. And again, I just want to try to do some albums that have been released, this year, as well as the past, year or two that I haven't covered here on the channel. Anyways, next week I'll be looking at Prince's 1984 album, Purple Rain.